Welcome to Beyond the Gates 2025. Here we are, day 3. And this time, it's not about black metal, it's not about death metal, it's about a very Gothic thing from Sweden, Tribulation. And in case you're wondering about the topics what I just mentioned, bear with us. We'll get into the whole discography thing and more. Let's welcome the guests of the hour. Sir, please state your name and what are you doing in the band?
My name is Adam, I play guitar.
And you, sir?
My name is Johannes, I play the bass and do some vocal.
Now, I don't know which one I should start first, but like I mentioned in the introduction, it's not about death metal, but it kind of is, and it's also very much about the Gothic stuff, because you guys started with a death metal album and soon started evolving into something totally different. So what I'm basically asking is here, how you would label Tribulation nowadays, if you had to describe yourself to someone who has never ever heard a single tune, single bit of the songs. What is Tribulation all about?
Right. It depends on the person, I guess. If there's someone that's a complete outsider, I would probably say we play heavy metal.
Yeah, a complete outsider. Yeah.
But for someone a little more in the know, what do we do? I don't know.
Nowadays, Gothic, deathish, rock, maybe metal. It's the hardest question, basically.
Yeah, I know. With your kind of a band, because you have indeed those rock and roll parts, especially later on, but it didn't happen overnight. The first album, the horror one, was, and I love the cover, by the way. It's so terrifying cover. Yeah. Sometimes I'm still mesmerized by the sheer horror, but it's very different. But let's start with that. So the death metal beginning. How did you decide? Obviously, Sweden is the home of Nordic death metal, more or less, but how did that come to be?
Well, emerging from the thrash metal years we had in the very beginning, under a different name, perhaps. But yeah, we evolved into more death metal sounding. And it was this kind of an underground scene going on in Sweden. Yeah. Like early 2000s and the beginning of the century.
And we were super young when we started this with playing thrash metal. We were 13 maybe.
Wow, that's very young.
Yeah, and we started doing that because of course we got into that kind of music. And as time progressed, we got into heavier music more and more. Yeah. And then we wanted to play a more brutal kind of music. And that's when we changed the band name to Tribulation, and that was in like 2004, I think. And like Johannes said, at that time there was some kind of a scene in Sweden with bands like some of the ones that had been going since the 90s, like Nominon was one of them, Repugnant, Kamos.
Yeah.
But there were also other bands like thrash bands. What were they called? Well, Caustic Strike was one.
Yeah.
Lethal, I remember, from up north.
Yeah.
And we also had friends down south with Necrovation from Skåne, the most southern part of Sweden.
Yeah.
So there, and also the guys in Uppsala.
Oh, okay. So you have kind of a big geographical area. Yeah. In case people don't understand, Sweden is very up and north and south, that there's a lot of landscape and of course culturally very different. But you moved on after only one album of, say, traditional Nordic or Swedish death metal. You moved to Formula's album. And while it definitely has this death metal sound to it, there's a lot of kind of a, I wouldn't call them progressive, but in the context of extreme metal, it's kind of a progressive.
That's for me the most folky one, and also, but still very death metal. But it's definitely the Forest album.
Yeah. Kind of psychedelic as well.
Yeah. And very lengthy. There's a lot of material in it on a digest, just one go.
Yeah. I think, and when we recorded the first album, that was in 2007, and we didn't release it until 2009.
Yeah.
So when we did the second album, we wrote that in like 2012 maybe.
Yeah.
So there's a long span of time in between those two albums when it comes to writing the actual material. So very formative years. So a lot changed with what we were listening to, I guess, what we were doing, who we were hanging out with, and all of that. And I think we wanted to prove something with the second album. And I think that's why it turned out to be so very long.
Yeah, but also never restrict ourselves with length of albums.
Yeah, of course.
Like
that was the idea.
the total freedom of doing what we want.
Yeah,
that's basically been the thing with the band.
Yeah.
Now,
every album.
One could make the claim as part of audience or fan that you really got things started like properly, like maturing, like you mentioned, the formative years with the third album, and then started what is more, I guess, known as the kind of a new era of Tribulation, and that's when the Gothic stuff started like more defining the whole band. Now, what I want to know is obviously how this trip from the death metal to the more experimental stuff got into the Gothic stuff. Like, when did you figure out, hey, this is the stuff we want to do?
Well,
we never did, I think.
The thing is, we've always been intrigued and inspired by Gothic things like architecture and books and movies, and so that's always been with us. But yeah, on the Children of the Night, it came out more, I guess, and that's also when we signed a major label and got out of that underground death metal scene in Sweden and became more mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Not in a bad way. I actually like that, like the way you put it, because there are always people like, oh, these guys sold out, or these guys did like that. But I think it's more important that like you said, you want to do what you want, and if somebody comes up with the commercial accusations, it's like, oh, hey, fuck them, but what was it different? You know, were you challenged by the labels? Like, hey, this was your previous one, or anything like that?
Nothing.
Total freedom from the labels.
Yeah, they supported, or they trusted us to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they trusted us from
the
beginning.
And also kind of maturing, growing older as well. And the fast death metal kind of wasn't the thing 24/7 every day anymore. Yeah. You got more a broader sense of music personally,
and I also think we wanted to do something that other bands in that same scene didn't do. I mean, you get tired of repeating. I get tired of repeating stuff. And I remember when we were recording the second album, I remember talking about, on the next one, we're not gonna have like double kicks. We're gonna do. I think
the kind of stuff you talk about.
Yeah, I think we did eventually on like a couple of songs or something.
But it's hard to cut your roots also. Like
and that was of course. But what ended up happening on the Children of the Night, that third album, we really combined two sets of different influences, I guess. The more extreme metal stuff and the other stuff that had been going on the side. I mean, since even before the extreme metal stuff, like specifically I like the heavy metal stuff, Iron Maiden and all of that. So we wanted to not make it like a mix, but still take elements from whatever we liked, really, and then to present that in like the Tribulation, whatever. Yeah. In our way of doing whatever that is, and that's, I guess, what we're still doing. There's a lot of room for us to move around when it comes to Tribulation, and we kind of know intuitively what is and what isn't. Yeah. What doesn't fit and
what's too far in the wrong direction and vice versa. Yeah.
And it's kind of baby steps. I mean, it's been a long time. It's almost 20 years ago since we recorded that first album. Huh.
I get an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
No, just joking. No. Just bad timing. When it comes to lyrics, obviously they also change over time, and like they said, formative years and musical styles. And usually people start thinking about like, okay, this could fit death metal, but this could fit something else. So for you, writing lyrics for music that was constantly evolving, changing, maturing, how is the process, or in hindsight especially, like when you look back at those times, when you go through these ideas, how much there was a conscious choice, like we need also to say different things? Because also with your covers, it's different when you compare, like, say, the third album and the first album, not to mention the later ones. Yeah. So lyrically, how much you had to kind of work yourself into a different mindset?
Not that much.
No.
I mean, they've always been fairly similar.
Yeah, there's still some brutal lyrics.
Yeah, even on the new one.
Yeah.
I mean, but in the very beginning, there were a lot of like zombies and cannibal, movies and
blood and gore.
Blood and gore, yeah. So I guess that didn't quite stick, but there's some of that on the new album as well. More so than in
it's
the very
a
long
nice
time.
blend, making more beautiful music, maybe not the harsh death metal, but still have some harsher elements in the lyrics.
Yeah, some gore.
I mean, like, if I would take a movie reference, we could talk about, okay, Bram Stoker's Dracula is very, very dark and brutal at the same time, but it's not the kind of a gory horror movie, but nonetheless, So I'm thinking in that sense, did you want to go more, say, poetic direction when your music was kind of a softening and also getting darker?
I guess so, yeah, a little bit. I guess from the Formulas of Death on, it's been a little bit more poetic in that sense, more so than on the first one. But since then, it hasn't been the same, but we've always been dealing with more or less the same kind of material, which has always been kind of otherworldly, I guess. Not that very mundane and like everyday kind of thing.
Yeah, it would be weird if you were talking about your trips to grocery store while having time.
Yeah, but it's not been very political.
Exactly. Not political and not. I don't know. I've been saying this before in interviews, but I think it says something. I remember when I heard "Domination" by Morbid Angel for the first time, and the lyric is, what is it? My fingers on the trigger.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of lame that they were singing about guns, because everything else is not that modern.
Yeah.
So we've always tried to keep
words like that. Yeah, out of it
in that non-unmodern territory.
We could go to crossbows and say they are not really modern weapons with the trigger. Oh, just joking. But I get your point. I mean, there is definitely a line when you feel like, okay, now we're crossing the borders and this doesn't feel right. Now, this leads me to the next topic, and obviously, you did a nice job mentioning giving them a little bit of shout out there, the old school days. So what I'm asking here is, what kind of bands kept you inspired when you went kind of a different territory from the beginning? Like, what were the bands that really gave you the push? Like, hey, this is the kind of stuff.
Maybe in the beginning it wasn't like obvious. I mean, I didn't listen to Sisters of Mercy or Typo Negative back when we did Children of the Night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's always been a theme, the Gothic theme.
Yeah. But what bands? I don't know. For the Formulas, I remember the Doors being a big inspiration, and what other bands? I don't know. I guess Dissection was one of them. For
there was a lot of
Children
bands coming in at that point in our lives.
But who? Can you remember?
It would be interesting if you said The Who.
The Who, yeah.
Okay, moving forward with the modern days of Tribulation, it's once again becoming slightly different, not entirely, obviously. I think you've really figured out with the Children of the Night, and things haven't changed that much, even though they surely have. So what is the thing nowadays that keeps you kind of giving ideas. It doesn't have to be music. It can be just any form of art or, I don't know, real life even. So what is the stuff that kind of makes you tick when you want to write new lyrics or new songs? What makes you grab the guitar or whatever?
For the new album, for me, it was a lot of B-movies, a lot of European,
yeah,
like Italian and Belgian and French horror flicks.
He's
from
deep into it.
The 60s and 70s. And the music to them.
Yeah.
That's been... And the full aesthetics of all of that has been a major inspiration. This is not new, I guess.
No.
This has been the case since our first
but
demo.
We always see a new album campaign or recording like a bit of a challenge to, put the pressure on ourselves to make something different and new. Take another baby step in the world of Tribulation. So that's a key thing going into the studio. Like,
that's also inspiring.
And again, are we going too far? We usually notice in the studio.
Yeah.
Usually, like, that lyric won't fit there. That's or that riff is a bit too happy or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a balance all the time.
Yeah, but it is inspiring and difficult and anxiety-inducing at the same time.
Totally.
To try to, I mean, as with any band who makes an album, to make something similar but new.
Yeah, it's always hard to kind of shed your skin, yet at the same time keep your form intact. Like spiders and lizards when they're like, okay, let's get the shit off the.
That's because in the studio or the writing process, everything has to feel right. The whole way. Like, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't make the cut or whatever. It has to be. But that's also part of the challenge because you have to let new stuff in.
Yeah, of course. You have new blood in and all that stuff. Talking of which, like all the bands that have been here for a while, not to mention 20 plus years, you also had lineup changes over the years. And even some old members like, okay, now it's time to move on and things are changing. How much they have affected what Tribulation are? I mean, the core, the soul, whatever.
Well, I mean, I guess the big one is Jonathan, of course.
Yeah.
He was a founding member with me and Adam.
Yeah.
And he wrote a lot of songs. And, well, the transition went very smooth, I'd say, after he's...
the soul is still there. And the core, that hasn't really changed that much, I think, since Jonathan left.
No. No,
but
there's no major differences.
We've made one EP and one album since he left the band and Joseph joined the band. And of course, it's gonna be something a little bit different when you have a new guy who's also writing the music.
Yeah, of course.
Because he wrote one song for the EP and like what 4 or 5 songs?
For the latest one.
Yeah. So he's been contributing a lot. So, but
he knows us.
Yeah, he knows us.
He's
So
one of our
well,
oldest friends.
Okay,
we
so
grew up together. So he came in knowing exactly what we want, but also kind of challenging us a bit. Like, do you agree upon this? Can I try this with you?
Yeah.
And
that's also sometimes, of course. No, that's too far.
Now you're going way too far.
But other times, perfect. Really got it. Yeah.
Now the difficult question, and I know this could be painful. I don't know. Is obviously because people want to know. They're always like, okay, founding member left the band after so many years and blah blah blah. Was there any bad blood? Was there any drama, or was it just like something like, hey, life happens?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of drama. Absolutely.
Yeah. There's no band out there without drama.
No, exactly.
I guess at least. But no, the departure with Jonathan was no bad blood at all. It was just we were fed up and needed to move on from each other.
Yeah.
But not in a angry way or anything. It was
exactly. The actual breakup or whatever wasn't very dramatic.
But
of course there was a lot of drama before that. That's always the case.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, because I've had my own bands. I've noticed sometimes people don't click even if the music works, and obviously having seen a lot of band lineup changes, there was always a story to be told. Some are like, okay, we got the baby and now it's no time for touring or whatever. And sometimes it's like, oh, we wanted to kill each other and all that stuff. But you managed to move on and keep the Tribulation, like you said, the core intact and all that stuff. And now you've been growing very steadily, and you're actually quite big considering that you're not one of the 1990s Swedish bands, from the past and all that stuff. So people have been, finding you and liking you, and despite all the style changes and all. But has it been an easy ride or a rough ride for you?
A rough ride, I'd say.
Rough ride. Again, we're probably a very stereotypical band in that sense.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear a podcast or read a biography, it's like, it's us, It's you recognize a lot of stuff. And also going on for 20 plus years, it's bound to happen. And there's no grudges going on. I mean, and nowadays, it's you and me who are the founding members still now. And it's like, as long as you and me don't...
I guess that helps a lot.
Yeah, it does. And we never really do. So that helps. That helps. But it's been amazing. And we've seen amazing places. We've met amazing people. Played so many awesome shows. So it's still worth it, but it's not easy.
It's hard work.
I have to say.
The business, it's hard work. Touring nowadays.
It's so expensive.
This is something that especially younger generation who are like finding their own bands and all that stuff don't always maybe realize that after the initial idea, okay, it's gonna be new places, free booze, free drugs, lots of groups, everything is just fun, rock and roll life, and everybody's gonna take you to places with Rolls and Royce.
It's always hard when someone asks you, like in your hometown, so you're home from tour? Are you rich now? Like, nah.
Not quite.
Still have to pay my bills and,
You have bills? What the hell? Aren't you a real rock and roll register?
But
combining like a regular
job,
adult life with this.
Yeah, we all have kids
as well.
Yeah.
They're even quite big now. So that is a challenge, of course. It really is. But
the life puzzle of being like 4 individuals in a group.
This is another good topic to talk about because obviously over the years I went to a lot of bands, and some don't have families, some don't have kids, and they'll seem to be like, hey, it's easy on the road when you don't have your missus waiting at home, or kids like, hey, Dad, come back. But there are also bands which are like, hey, we have kids, and balancing things out with the family life and all. What I'm asking here is, what do the kids think of their dads getting on the road? Are they proud, like, hey, our dad is the coolest rock and roller, or like, fuck, man? Like, there was this moment when you saw Tom Mariah or Slayer, and the kids were more like, fuck, God. Like, everybody else is Slayer, motherfucker. But the kids are not exactly the biggest fans, and I've seen that even in some black metal fans. So how are the kids taking your career as a big band guys?
Well, your oldest one is getting into metal now. I think that's great.
He's been getting into metal for like the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So he thinks it's pretty cool, I think. And he's getting into guitar playing and all of that.
It's not like you
very
ask.
similar way to how it was with me when I was getting into it. So I think he just finds it pretty cool, and we have a lot of friends that he's like, if we watch YouTube or something, it's like, you've met this guy, have I? He's like, yeah, you have. So a lot of that kind of stuff. My daughter is a little bit too young, I think, but she wants me to be at home, I guess, instead of going away all the time.
Yeah. But that's always with the smaller kids, like, Dad, come home, or at least bring souvenirs.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
My kid my kid is getting now. She's 6 now, so she starts to get what I'm doing. And also YouTube. She's been coming to sound checks. In Sweden, you can't see the show until you're 13 or something. But so she thinks sound checks is a show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, it kind of like fake it until you can make it.
But, so, thank you, Dad, for letting me come to your show. And I was like, yeah, it's not the show, but yeah, thank you.
So all this family life and all that stuff, how do you make it happen? I mean, the mental health and the physical health and all that stuff, because obviously you're not the small band that does a couple of shows a year, but you're on the road and then you have to write new material. So how you keep yourselves check? This coming from like a, are you okay? Kind of thing.
No, but mental health is a big issue.
Drinking beer.
Drinking beer. Soothing the pain.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's ups and downs, as with everybody else, I guess. I mean, it's tough to be away, of course, from your loved ones. But thank God for the FaceTime and the smartphone for that.
It's getting easier.
Yeah, definitely. Thank God for smartphones.
Yeah. No.
I was an atheistic joke.
That's
yeah,
not
I get
quote
it.
from me. The opposite.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, but getting home, I think it's healthy being away from the family as well.
I think so too.
Yeah, I totally. I
Then
don't know
you
what you mean.
really appreciate each other more when you're together again after a tour.
It's in a way in a me time.
Yeah.
Even if you're with a bunch of guys who smell bad and all that shit, but in a way you need that break.
Exactly. I think that makes marriages last longer.
Yeah,
true.
I agree.
What about you on the ride? Like, do you go very like miss home moments when you're at tour, or miss tours when you're at home, or?
Yeah, both, but not that much anymore. To be honest, I mean, of course, I miss the people back home, but it's getting easier and easier, I'd say. I don't know why, because we're used to it, maybe.
And they get used to it.
And like Johanna said, like the FaceTime, I don't have whatever it's calling with the
video call.
Yeah, it's not on the 90s or 80s when you're like expensive call.
I need to find a payphone.
Yeah, and you can even call. I mean, it was
Yeah.
so expensive. Now it's like I can call from wherever, whenever. So it's it is easier. And missing tour when we're home, sometimes. But
If they're far apart from each other, then you can really get the itch
but
at home.
there's usually like something coming up always.
Yeah.
So you don't really get the chance to miss it that much. So it's fine.
So talking about being on the tour versus creating new music and preparing an album, which guys are you more? I'll start with you. Which is more important for you personally? What gives you the bigger kicks? Playing the shows or prepping new material and recording it?
Well, the biggest kick, I guess, is a really good show. But what's more important, I'd say, is to write the music and to record it in the best way possible. Because, I don't know, it's always been... I, of course, grew up watching live bands, but more than watching live bands, I listen to albums, you know?
So in the end, it's the music nerd that kind of comes in rather than the showman.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
I also, when you've been touring plenty, it's always nice to look forward to the more creative year you take off, like writing and studio. And I love the studio time. It's a lot of angst as well, of course. Yeah. But at the same time,
I love it too.
Yeah, I get used to the anxiety. And you kind of cope with it. You all know what I mean.
But, especially from the Nordic countries, we all know what it means.
Yeah. It's rough days and good days, but in the end, it's always worth it. And I can't really decide what's the best. I mean...
No, both are crucial, I think.
Yeah. I mean, touring, then you can just focus your brain on that and have fun and meet good friends all over the world and see places. And yeah, they're very different. Studio is also cozy. You go to the same office every day and like have the same coffee and have a great sound engineer or whatever. So yeah,
and to just try to find the right way of doing whatever you're doing in that particular song, that particular moment. But
we're always kind of late with knowing how the album will turn out.
Very late.
We don't rehearse that much.
Okay.
So we're at the moment very much a studio band. But that's also part of the angst and the process.
Yeah.
That it's good, I think, because then it's on the edge, kind of. Some songs are, of course, already done in your head, at least. But
most of them are more or less done. But then there's always.
It's good to have some unfinished as well, I think.
Yeah, to find the red thread, the soul of the album, so to speak. But that kind of happens in the studio, not before it. It all depends on what kind of sound we manage to get out of the equipment we have and all that. So it's even though you have more or less clear ideas from like the demo stage, it always turns out a little bit different, and that the change is quite big sometimes for the overall feeling and the overall aesthetics of the album, because even the layout part and the album cover, album title even, usually comes very late.
Okay.
So it's kind of have to have the music before, even though you have some vague idea of what you want to do. It doesn't always fit with what ends up happening on the actual album.
Yeah, it's a work in progress until you actually finished it. Talking of which, recording nowadays versus, say, the demo times or the first album, which is better?
I mean, when you were young, you didn't care that much, so that was some kind of freedom, I guess. But
I didn't know anything.
No, you learn while doing, and you know your own capacity as well, and more budget gets involved and you can do more, and it's always changing, I guess. But the demo days were also nice.
Yeah,
in my memory.
It depends on. I remember when we recorded the Formulas of Death, that was so very different. We were I think we recorded the drums in Stockholm in Necromorbus. With Tore Stjärna, and then we recorded everything else in our hometown in Arvika, in like this rehearsal complex where we used to rehearse when we were teenagers, and we could only, for some reason, I think, record like from 6 or 7 o'clock.
Oh yeah, that was a curfew.
Night. Yeah. So we only recorded during the evenings and during the night. So
that was a special session.
Yeah. Very. A lot of incense. I remember. Yeah. The people who had the place asked if we had peed in there because it smells so bad.
Did you guys piss on the carpet or something? No, it's the incense. Like a month of incense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the owner came knocking one evening, asking us to please play something more normal. Because
it's nice that you play, but could you please play something more normal?
Yeah. Well,
could you play Rocky Erickson instead?
Yeah.
Or some dance band?
Because it's in a residential area, so the house is just next to it, and we were just blasting.
Yeah. So I guess the answer is nowadays it's rather more relaxed to record in that sense that you don't have this curfew hours and all.
Yeah, and we probably start at like 9 o'clock in the morning, finish at, I don't know, 6 or something.
So it's almost like an office day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not always, but most days are like that. Yeah.
It's nice to see the family as well during studio sessions.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna close towards the end and all that stuff, but now the audience probably knows a little bit what happens in the future. Let's go projects and say maybe year, maybe 3. Where will Tribulation be in, say, by 27, 28? What is happening? Tours, albums, what?
Yeah, we don't quite know. We'll continue touring a little bit more. We want to get back to the US a little bit more. We want to get to South America.
It's still fresh.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
new album. So, but we really don't have that long plans, to be honest. At the moment.
I'm asking more like from the perspective, like, are you already working on a new material, or are you taking a break, or?
No, I mean, as soon as we've completed, when we feel finished with touring, we'll focus on something new.
That's usually how we kind of work.
Yeah.
Like writing session after touring session. Of course, you write riffs.
Yeah, you gather
every other day.
material.
And you put it in your phone memo, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing which is easier, these levels of technology back in the days.
Yeah, exactly.
Just hum into the phone.
Yeah, and then you go back and it's like, oh, can't remember this one. This is pretty good.
Yeah. It helps so much.
Yeah, it does. And so I guess we've already started doing that.
Yeah.
But
touring for sure.
Touring for a bit more, but then definitely a new album, which is gonna be interesting to see where that will take us. I don't really know.
Exactly. We don't know.
All right.
That's how we kind of.
Fog of war.
Yeah, fog of war, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we do it.
Then we will do a set of short questions. Don't think about it too much. Like let your intuition do it or stuff. I'm gonna ask you like back to back, so you get a little bit of break. Most inspiring band of all time for you?
Of all time,
Don't overthink.
Morbid Angel.
For you?
I mean,
The best movie or most inspiring movie for you? That's something that everybody needs to watch.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, what a good choice. What about you?
Nosferatu, Herzog's probably.
The book that you never finished, but you should.
Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. Yeah.
Okay. For you?
I rarely read. I don't read a lot. So every book I try.
Okay. The next place, or sorry, the favorite place you could play a show if you could choose by yourself. Of all the places, you can be very, very creative.
Madison Square Garden.
Okay, good one. You?
Probably Bangkok or Southeast Asia.
Okay, and the song that every Tribulation new fan should start with.
Saturn Coming Down.
And for you?
Let's say Murder in Red then.
All right, these are all good answers, obviously. Now, people, do your homework, start with the songs, and get used. Check out the whole discography. Let it evolve. Do it in from worst, from the beginning to the. I was about to say the worst to best, but then again, it doesn't make sense. So start from the beginning to the end, or do it reverse order, and find your favorites. Obviously, it's a very evolving band. Very interesting how they created over the years, and when you are ready to find your favorite albums, go to the lyrics and obviously witness these guys live when you can. Then you will probably know what I was about to say, the worst to best, according to your opinion, because everybody likes ranking stuff and all that stuff. I mean, not from a negative perspective, but more like find your favorite bands and argue that with your favorite friend over a beer or a coffee, whatever, and then go to the show, take the memorable pictures, and you know what to do. This is Tribulation, coming from Sweden. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you. And check out the links in the description box for the band's music, the basic information and all that stuff. So click, and like the saying goes, if you like it, go buy it. This is Rauta, Beer Gaze 2025. Off you go. Bye. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, very good.
And before you go, let's take off the mics and then a couple of pictures for, as you know, social media purposes, promoting the interview when it comes out. So let's take a couple of shots.